Hey, yeah, that's my title. I can't be mad if I don't care. And hi everybody, I'm still here. You know, the life that you live. Don't let nobody live your life. This is the life that the Lord has made for you. And a lot of people can be mad, but this is a wondrous day for me. You know, um, some people might be hurt. You know, um, I realize the importance of the Most High is number one. That has to be your number one. And when you have that, it's a peace of mind to know that whatever is trying to trouble you, um, the Most High has it. So, I know sometimes, when I get with the Spirit of the Lord, you're right there on the brink of things. And, you know, from the very start, I I could tell you I had no support, none. No real support. Pretty much everybody was on the negative side of me, and they didn't believe in me. And I get it, but even some of the Christians, the people who say they love God or Yah or Jesus, and it's like, well, you know, I'm all about the resistance. Ever since I was born, I'm about the resistance of what I need to be doing in life. And you know what I mean. And not that why the Most High uses me. It's a game to people. Ain't nothing funny about somebody getting your kids taken, and you lost your home. And some people just don't know when to quit. Their whole entire life is about trying to make games with yours because whatever they got going on, you know, especially when you're dealing with narcissists, whatever they got going on, then pan out, which is me leaving this earth. And this is the Most High's. This is His foundation. This is His, and I ain't letting people tell me what to do. I'm gonna be here, and I'm here with my kids, and it's like you're right there on the brink of things, and it's just that people can't accept that you're doing things with the Most High. You know, you're trusting and you believe in Him, no matter the resistance, no matter the constant bewitchment that the enemy try to portray on you. You still with the Most High. I have allergies, so if you see me rub my nose, there it is. so people ask like, why you say nobody love you? And I don't mean it too deep like that, but I'm not talking about no husband or anything like that. I just got a divorce over a year ago. I'm more talking about, um, you know, um, people will tell me and say, over the phone, I love you, and they don't show me love. They just want what I have, and I don't have much. If I was in a relationship with someone, that's all they come to do. That's the only reason people come to this town is thinking that they can break my happiness, and that's where I'm not getting involved with anyone. You know what I mean? I'm more focused on getting my life straight, and people just want to get amongst me, and they can't deal with the fact that I've had I've been targeted. I've been dealing with narc abuse, and I'm not trying to bring all this to another person. You know, on top of that, I had my children that I have to get involved with. And I don't believe that they're learning anything from Christ. So I can't really teach them. And it's just getting back with them and trying to figure out what it is that they want. And for whatever keeps trying to trail behind me here, these monitor familiar spirits, I like I said, the only reason monitoring spirits exists for me is really God's about to bring them low. You know, I mean, the enemy will try to bring your past back, and my past was pretty decent. I don't have a problem bringing up my past. I did some things, when I was with men, I did some things. Everything else is pretty much someone wanting to be with me or bring me low because they see the potential and the type of men that I can get, and they're saying, I could do better than you or whatever. Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry. Welcome to the channel. So, you're trying to evolve from things in life, and it really, when you get to the Most High, the things that we love on earth, when God is saying to hold on. I mean, if He has it for you, He has it for you. Right now, I don't see Him having me in marriage again right now. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to get my children. And it's just so many different things that's trying to involve themselves in my life that don't need to be there. I never been a bad girl. I never been real hot in the tail, but it, with targeting, they'll bring your exes around, and I ain't never involved myself with none of them. They don't have the heart to talk to me face to face. They'll just get on that satanic get your gadgets and devices and try to be around you. You know, between that and I've lost contact with most of my family members, other than randomly talk to my mother, and it's no big deal. I don't mind. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself. But people feel that they're more happier seeing me not so in depth with Christ. But I'm gonna keep this fire, this Holy Spirit fire, man. Hey, how's it going? And I'm just gonna keep praising and serving the Most High. I believe there's things to come, some serious things to come. So I'm trying to get in, of here for the Most High, because I just I just don't feel good about something's on the way. And when I have that feeling, something ain't good. And I'm just saying it's just a nationwide thing. And so when you're trying to do that, you got all kind of disturbance, and it's a shame that I got people who are adults that act like children, and yeah, they're afraid of me, and that's because that I ain't gonna get them or nothing, but it's just the fact that when I've been good to people, and I moved to a whole nother town. My mama was born here, and I moved here. I have to move away from. I kept experiencing. This month both my sisters passed. You know what I mean? And you know, my kids got took it away. It's just so much stuff. And so before they were taken, we were trying to renew ourselves. I mean, I like the heat. I love the Southern hospitality. My mom had it. Shout out to my mom, but people have to understand I'm not a child, and that's where I keep getting that some have the best for me, and some just want to see, okay, is you really sleeping with someone? Some still about the drug trafficking and sex trafficking. I've never been in any of those things, and honey, I'm not going in none of that. I'm not going. I'm too old to be going in that, and the spirit of envy is something that I got to talk about. It rots the bones in Proverbs. That's what the Bible says. And once that line's been crossed, it's really hard to get there, especially when I've been good. I try to do every type of angle to say I've been with you and I help. I'm a forgiving person, but certain people can't be back in my circle. They're done. They're done. So coming down here and thinking that I'm going to give in, and that's what they're thinking. Like, I've already got my job at Mickey D's, and it's all right. You know what I mean? I literally have to do those kind of things. I can't work at a high powered job. Regardless of my education, I've had jobs that making like 10, 20, $20 an hour, 30, close to 30. Well, I was making 18. Let's just say that. I don't want to say something I ain't do. And it's just people, I know they're not going to want to work at McDonald's. They want to slang drugs all day, and I don't have nothing to do with that. When you're dealing with gang stalking, excuse me, you're dealing with the person that's fascinated about misusing you in your life. Whether to get into Freemason or whatever have you. And I'm not with that stuff. You know, my marriage only failed because my ex sister-in-law involved herself in it and caused things that where he went, he did some things, I did some things, and that's it. But I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I do what I'm supposed to do. But at the same time, I'm good with being celibate. I don't need the headache of trying to deal with a man. And I want to be there for him the way he need to be without the drama. So that's it. I got people obsessed with us. Yeah. Well, the only reason they're obsessed is because you have something that they don't. And when you're dealing with those things, just know that the Most High got you. You know, I mean, the thing is, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm a down to earth person, but at the same time, I'm dealing with things. I really, really haven't dealt with the death of any of my sisters. I'm not gonna sit around and cry, but I just went last year. I went to go visit my sister's grave. I had never seen my other sister. Somebody just told me that she passed, and then I have, today is the day that I got in that bad car accident, and I really thought I was gonna lose my life, and that's what the enemy intended on doing, because I'm chosen, and yeah, yeah, don't stop doing what you're doing, because whatever it is that you've done, you know, it's attracting them, and you just got to keep going what you're going, and that's me. I ain't stopping. You know, I'm not trying to get into nobody. I'm not being in no Freemason. I don't know if that's what that is, but they don't want to tell me. I don't really have, just so people know, I don't have fellowship or relationship with these kind of people. I'm pretty much by myself. Only when I go to work. When I go to work, I do what I'm supposed to do with people, and that's it. Casual hey, and I'm too busy to even do that. I could tell them, because at McDonald's you're not supposed to gang stalk. You can. They actually have a policy. You can't do that. So even when I see the little hand thing, I'm like, that's the least of my worries. I'm trying to get over here and help these customers or whatever they put me at. So there's certain policies that's coming against it, and you wonder why. We got these robots coming. We got these robots. With the sudden violence that has been in these restaurants. There's just a lot going on, and don't give up. I'm not giving up. I know I sound like that on live, but sometimes I'll be tired, and It just comes, after working or, getting in with the most. I try to stay off a lot, but Brandon, is that Brandon? Since I'm exactly like you, I go to work, home, and don't even really talk to anyone. Yeah, salute. It's because my testimony is crazy, is spiritual, and there's jealous. Yeah, that's good. Well, sometimes they are, and that's where I try to offer mental health. I used to work at a mental health facility. I only did the housekeeping part, but you still got to learn. You still got to learn. You can't be afraid of the patients because some of them be looking rough. They don't know, and even my ex-husband had to deal with mental illness, and you know, it's not easy with that one because they keep you up all night. You sitting up there saying, "When am I gonna go to sleep? When is you gonna go to sleep?" You know what I mean? And then it's just finally here we are. We're gonna go take you to the hospital. So I don't judge anyone that's dealing with mental health. Mm-hmm. It says because my testimony. Oh, okay. Can I be a mod? Well, I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. What's your name? Random. I have to wait a little more. I'm doing some things with the channel, so you might want to hold up on all that. You know what I mean? I gotta get to know you a little bit more. Like I said, I got people being on my channel, or that's why I got the app. I got the app because I can't never see the comments on the other side of the thing. Maybe I don't know how to work it, and that's why I'm trying to stay off so I know pretty much everything I need to know on YouTube, so I can be a little more personable and actually bring people on online. I'm trying to do those things, and I'm waiting until I get some more funds to do that so I can actually see and like videos that I need to show. There's some videos I need to show, and I figured it out, and that's why I'm saying that they be messing with my cell phone. I mean, the way I know that I was messing with it, it was like a ID member that came on my phone for Apple. And I'm saying, why is there a ID member? So I already said it. I've already talked about it. And they say, did you report it? Well, well, when I did those things, I ain't worried. I ain't scared. It's just I have to get more evidence of what I'm talking about. I have to be able to prove it. And that's it. So it says because there's too many cheetah labs. What they say? What they say? Cheetahs. Uh, Fearless, cool. It's so Marley vibes. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm tired of this already. I'm trying to hold on. This is getting on my nerves. It wasn't supposed to be this long, so you know what I mean. But I'm trying to work with it. You know, um, I don't believe in cutting stuff like that. I really just miss my little fro. I'm telling the truth, but I'm holding it in because I got things going. You know what I mean? And that's it. It says because there's too many cheetahs. Okay, cheaters or cheetahs? Yeah. Well, if you talk about cheaters, that's something else. But cheetahs, I don't know what that means. You know. But I got people on here that they can't be in my world. They probably sitting in here, but can't be in my world. When the time was presented to you to be a friend or a family member, you messed up. Some of you done. You already know you done. They already know it. They already been told. They already they know. They ain't got no real dealings with me. There's some people, you know what I mean. I might be willing to give a second chance, but not at this moment. I gotta focus on things that I need to do, including going to court. So I have those things. I'm not a bad person, but when it deal coming with my kids, it's hard for me to know what's going on with them, and so I gotta know that. Yeah, and it is what it is. I got enemies out here. I got rivals out here, and they just they think somebody wants to be envious of them, but anybody could get a rental. You know, you know what I mean. Anybody could act like they got a boyfriend. You know what I mean, or a husband. You drive all the way down here to Georgia just to prove that you got a man. You know what I mean? I don't pay attention to people that much at all. At all. Nope. I ain't trying to impress nobody. You know what I mean? I do my thing, but you know, I'm trying to also work on my singing, my songwriting, and things like that. Um, there's people who I could know, but I don't know. I'm not talking about any celebrity in particular, but I'm trying to get my vibe towards the gospel. I like gospel music, but the thing here is, excuse me, they I don't feel the Holy Spirit. With a lot of these gospel artists, it's more like I'm listening to R&B, and I like it. I like the R&B, but I need the Holy Spirit. I need to feel it, and so that's what I'm trying to do. And I ain't Mahalia Jackson, but I can write. I can do my pens. Yeah. Let's see. It says by your accent, I imagine you from Chicago. Yeah, I don't really have an accent, do I? I sound like I'm from the country now. It seems like wherever I go, I pick up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm from Illinois, but I lived in Ohio for years. Yeah, and it says society would judge you less without the dreadlocks and conditioning the hair. Well, society need to give me some money. 'Cause that's the thing when I'm still dealing with homelessness. So, I'm getting close to where I need to be, but I gotta save coins. I gotta get coins, and I got some other things on the work. It's just that middle streak. It's kind of shaky with me. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not going back to that. The long hair and or the bob. I miss my bob, but it's that's what made my hair fall out. I had to start my hair all the way over because um I had that perm. My hair was long. It was getting down there, and then with the targeting for sure. Not able to keep up with the stuff that I use for my hair. It started falling out. So with the stress, so I had to cut it. I cut it like real short. Yeah, I sure throw a wig or two, just for a while, and then after that, after I started seeing it grow a little more, I did it. Then it just started going back to me wearing wigs and braids. Yeah, it's just something. I'm leaving all that alone. All that long here. I might do one more because I got something going. Because I want to do one more thing, but other than that, I really leave all that alone. This is probably where that maybe I'll do it like I had it the first time, kind of curly, but I'm not doing too much with that. It's either my natural hair or stuff like this. I'm man live in New Zealand. Oh, are you born in New Zealand? I'm sorry, I can barely see that. I need some glasses. You know, it says I'm born in New Zealand. Well, congratulations. It's a nice place. You know, I don't know what to say about America, but I can't talk about America. There's a a law now. You can't say things about America, or if you have a passport, you can't. They might revoke your passport. So, you know, it's like a freedom of speech. You know what I mean? People should be able to say what they like and what they don't like. Um, let's see what it said. Hey, you look like my science teacher. No offense. That's probably why I get targeted. So many people say I look like somebody. They swear up and down that I've been talking to them. Especially when these men be trying to get girlfriend. Like, nah, you didn't talk to me. I'm sure of that. No, they swear up and down. Yes, we was. We was at the. Wasn't you the one? No, I wasn't. No, I was not. And even if I was, I don't want to talk. So, let's see. Trump is such a nice gentleman. I mean, be truthfully honest, I'm not for one or the other. I know it sounds like that. I write my titles, but half that stuff is just like being sarcasm. But I like both. I mean, I don't say I like both. I just like what can be done for me. Um, when it comes to Trump, you know what I mean. He's cleaning out the swamp, like he said. He don't play no games. I like that. I like that. Like I said, when I write report or put stories on my shorts about people misusing the system, that I've said it over and over again, and yep, there they are, misusing the system. When people like myself who are needing assistance and I can't get it. And so, I just go ahead and let that happen. Yeah. It's starting to rain. I'm outside, but I'm good. I got an umbrella. Just waiting for one more thing. It says, Andrew, it says, but my science teacher is very, very nice. Yeah, I'm not. I can be. But, I mean, right now, when you're dealing with targeting, nice has to go out the window for a minute. Because people ain't taking you serious. You know what I mean? I have to literally reiterate what I said. Or, hey, I'm not going to let you, bump me and stuff. You know what I mean? You have to stick up for yourself. And that's something that I do for me and my kids. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of y'all too, but, you know. Ooh, it's raining. All right. Anything else? Well, like I said, I'm about to wrap this up. I don't want my stuff getting wet. Well, anyway, watch that. Rain. All right. I'm at the varsity. I always go here. So I ain't never been to varsity, and it's different, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of tired of eating out at night. I mean, eating all the time. I ain't been in the gym, but I walk. So, um, okay. Well, I'm about to get off here. Those who know me, they see me on the night. I always come on at night. I take you serious. You know, but I just gotta pray against monitor familiar spirits, cause you know what I mean. Anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate those who came in. I'm all right. Y'all don't gotta, you know what I mean. You know, um, I'm gonna probably be on later. I gotta get my phone charged. Blessings, y'all.